Hi, my name is Emma Tobias, and I'm often known on the internet as both a book reader and a fashion aficionado. As the Met Gala has just passed and it was a disappointment in my eyes, I thought I would show you how it's truly done and take you on a tour of my amazing dress collection while talking about the books that I have read recently. I thought this would be fun because it gives you some visual eye candy while also being intellectually stimulating. Life's so fun, got my little mini skirt and my rollerblades on. Let's just get into it. This is a dress from Ann Taylor Loft, Outlet. It is very like discount Daisy Buchanan from The Great Gatsby. This dress right here is a favorite of mine. I got it at a thrift store in London. It's kind of everything. It's so witchy. It's so like the cover Practical Magic. We had this like sleepy 60s moment, which I think I'm gonna put on because I feel like it's more exciting than what I'm currently wearing. Although the dogs are cute, right? I'll do that. Transition. Like a Knives Out character. Okay, should I put this one on? I don't know. I feel like I just put on one, but maybe I should put this one on. This is so fancy. This is a dress I wore to a dance in college. I think, canceled on last minute by a date. So this is one of my favorite dresses. It's so cute. It is from Express. I got it at a thrift store, but it's like, I think from the early 2000s, I'm not entirely sure. And it has a pocket, which we do, of course, love. It is very like Jane Austen meets rave because it's silver and sparkly. All right, a vintage piece. Oh, baby. Maybe I'll put this one on. I think I'm gonna put this one on. I got this from like a vintage store, like in some random place in Georgia, but it is so like Mad Men, secretary, 60s moment. And I'm gonna put it on. We're gonna do another one. Y'all, I even pulled out the matching jacket that goes with it. I just feel so like fun and cute in this. This amazing dress, I feel like it's very Miss Honey from Matilda. I bought it again at a thrift store, but a very, very long time ago. It is vintage Liz Claiborne before like the Depop girlies were all on that. Old Susanna, won't you die for me? I don't remember the lyrics to this particular song, but this is so prairie. I don't know why I bought this. This is from Target. I just don't, it's not that cute. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that cute. It's very American Girl doll. So it could have been in the Met Gala, as we are now realizing. This is another vintage moment. I think this is from the 80s or 70s. I love it. It makes me think of like ABBA, like ABBA Daywear. Okay, so this is one of my favorite dresses. I'm gonna put this one on, but this is from Pop Sugar, which I think is a Kohl's brand. I just love this dress. Every time I wear it, I feel like both a little child and also like very magical. Let's talk about one of my favorite books of the year, Fresh by Margot Wood. I got an arc of this back over the summer and I was very excited because I'm a big fan of Margot Wood. I've been a fan of hers since she did the Epic Reads videos back in like 2012, 2013. I actually met her at Y'all Fest with my best friend in 2014 and she was just so nice. This is an Emma retelling set at Emerson College about a girl's freshman year, about her life academically, but mostly about her friendships, her journey. It's a coming of age story. And it's also a very queer book. All the characters in this book, pretty much, except for a couple, are queer, and our main character is bisexual. It's a celebration of adolescence and really not knowing what's going on. And it also in some ways feels like a very heightened, but also very accurate depiction of college. Like, you don't know what's going on. Everything is really exciting, but scary. You lose yourself, you lose your identity a little bit. And that's what I felt through this book. Also, the whole structure of it being based on or a retelling of Emma, I think really helped because you kind of knew the direction it was going in, but also it had its own twists and turns. I'm really excited to read more from Margot Wood and also just have everyone read this book because as someone who doesn't really read a lot of YA contemporary specifically, this kind of bridge the gap between YA and adult. It really felt like a new adult book and what new adult should be. And yeah, I loved it. This is a dress, almost fell over, from La Belle Fashions Inc., made in the USA. It is very Winona Ryder. I got it at a thrift store. It's stretchy, it's so cute. It makes me feel like I'm in that movie Reality Bites. We have this little number from GAS, Great American Sportswear. Again, a 90s brand, I do believe, from a thrift store. It's kind of like a 90s Winona Ryder meets Audrey Hepburn. Is Winona Ryder the 90s version of Audrey Hepburn? I would say yes. Another vintage dress. This one, the zipper's broken, so I gotta get that fixed. But this is originally from RK Originals, for the girl who knows clothes. That's the tagline. I think that's amazing. Very like, I'm trying to think of a reference, Audrey Hepburn, Roman Holiday. Okay, this dress is what they like to call ridiculous. I got this in London at a market from a vintage seller who was American, and it was kind of amazing. It's just this very Mary Poppins, Anne of Green Gables white dress. It is not what we like to call a wearable dress. If I were to go to prom as a 26-year-old, this is what I would wear. It's from ASOS, so I bought it in like 2017, which feels kind of like the pinnacle of ASOS. I probably would wear it to a wedding, but it feels very little girl. But I also think it's pretty. I have to figure out how to wear this dress. This is a very like Little Women dress. Little House on the Prairie. Beginning of Pride and Prejudice, Elizabeth Bennet. This is a difficult dress for me. I bought this at a thrift store. It's originally from Target. It's very 70s, but I don't know if it's cute or hideous. You know what I mean? Should I put it on? It's so long. I don't know how many of these I'm actually going to show. I feel like if this video is too long, I'm going to end up cutting dresses. This is an old lady dress. What I like to call a doily dress. I got it in London at a thrift store, a vintage shop. It's very Miss Havisham, you know. This is this just giant sort of like polyester cottagecore at a thrift store. The fabric is just garbage, but you know, it's actually really cute on me. I'm not gonna put it on, it's too much work. It's got like this thing in the middle. This is one of my, oh no, this is one of my all-time favorite dresses. I found it at a thrift store in Orlando, Florida. It's by the brand K. Unger Petites, and I love it. It's like very Wednesday Addams. I don't wear it much because I don't like want any more like pit stains to occur. I'm saying pit stains too much, aren't I? The dress. Remember that moment in The Parent Trap when the butler is like, if I had your figure, I'd wear something like this.
After 11 years and I had your legs, I'd wear this little baby.
It's a vintage dress. I love it. It's so cute. The back is really, really cute. It just feels very grown up and very like, I'm a business lady. This is a nap dress from Hill House. It's very Cinderella. I mean, it is absolutely beautiful. Maybe I'll put this one on next. It's got like little silver in it. It's so cute. It's really precious. It is an Anthropologie dress. Also, guess what? Inside out. I don't wear it that much, but it's really nice and it would be good, again, for a wedding. I don't even go to that many weddings. Why do I have so many things I would wear to a wedding? I got it at a thrift store. I feel like a rich woman. I feel like Meryl Streep in Mamma Mia saying, money, 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 life's so funny in a rich man's world. Okay. This is one of my favorite dresses. I bought it from a local boutique. It's this like mustard dress. It makes me feel like I'm in like that boring faction from Divergent, but I do really like it. This is a dress originally from French Connection. It's giving very Great Gatsby 1920s. I wore it to a wedding, actually. One of my favorite dresses, and I'm gonna put it on because holy crap, it's such a good dress. This I got at a thrift store, but it's originally from Zara. It's so good. I'm gonna put it on. I know. I just like sat down casually because this dress is so good. I'm gonna do a series wrap up because I finished the Key series by Nora Roberts, which involves Key of Light, Key of Knowledge, and Key of Valor. All these books came out in like 2002, 2003.
Basically, this series is about these three women who are involved in this prophecy involving these Daughters of the Glass, which are like Irish mythology figures whose souls were stolen away by a demon, and these other gods are supposed to help them and like protect them, and they didn't, and so, because they were like in love with each other, and so they were like thrown to the human world, and they were like, you gotta find these women to break this curse, and they have to like find these keys, and this demon Cain is gonna like come after them.
The first book is a book and the second book is a book. I've talked about both those books in other videos, but I finished this series with Key and Valor. It's about the last woman. She has to find the last key. She has to break this curse. There's everything on her.
Her storyline is probably the most interesting and nuanced. She is a single mother. She got pregnant as a teenager. She grew up in a low-income situation, having to take care of her siblings, and just very much has a chip on her shoulder, rightly so. And this guy, this rich man, Bradley, comes into town. He's connected because he's friends with the boys that the other two girls have fallen in love with, and he basically owns Lowe's, like Home Depot Lowe's, like that's his family's legacy, and he immediately like is really into her because like he likes her face because he saw it in a painting and blah 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 prophecy.
And he's like, I want to be with you, and she's like, for the first two books, like very like, you're a rich boy, I have baggage about that, I don't want anything to do with you, and he's like really persistent, and he's too persistent. Like Nora Roberts has a thing sometimes that is very dated. You see it in a lot of older rom-coms, like television, where the guy like doesn't believe the woman when she's like, I'm not interested. And while we know as a reader or as a viewer, like she is maybe interested, like that's not the truth in the situation. That's not what he actually knows. So he does things like kiss her very aggressively, like move past like consent, specifically with kissing. I don't like that. I will say I enjoyed how he developed his relationship with her son. I really enjoyed that. I know from my research that Nora Roberts is a boy mom, and you see that here. I really overall liked the conclusion of this. I like that you see the main girl character, our heroine, save the day. She takes back her power. I really enjoyed that. I did like the way the family dynamic played out between the three of them, and I also like the found family of this whole series. This is probably the weakest of the Nora Roberts series that are supernatural that I have read, but I still really enjoyed it. It did make me cry. I thought it was really good. I had a great time. The bad thing about this is not even all the dresses I own, because some of them are dirty, some of them are at my boyfriend's. It's inside out. I'm not going to turn it around. It's from the brand Signature. I got it at a thrift store. It's just this like black, anyway, it's just a black dress. It's very nice. It makes me feel like an Italian widow. I bought this dress recently from a thrift store. It's from Celine with an S, Sport, not Celine with a C. This is one of my favorite purchases. I think I'm going to put this on because I love it so much. It's my Mamma Mia moment. I got this from ThredUp. This is everything. I'm going to put it on. I love it so much. Okay, let's talk about another book. I'm going to talk about No One Is Talking About This by Patricia Lockwood. I really love Patricia Lockwood. Priest Daddy is one of my favorite memoirs of all time, so I wanted to pick this up. This is sort of auto-fiction in a way, sort of like part real, part, heightened, and it's a lot about being online, being on the internet, and everything that comes with it. This is quite an intense book, quite a funny book, quite a sad book. It says some things that are maybe like jarring or in some ways like offensive, but it's doing it in this sort of satirical way about how the internet works and how it's changed over time, specifically with Patricia Lockwood being a millennial on the internet, like a millennial. It also has this breaking moment in the book where it switches from this like heavily satirical, very fast-paced, funny, witty, full of witticisms to something really serious and real. And it's sort of, in my opinion, about that break when you realize that there is a real life with real stakes outside of the internet. And it's quite like heavy, but there's like a lightness to it at the same time, which feels like real life when you're trying to find levity in the deepest, darkest parts of existence. I really love Patricia Lockwood. Patricia Lockwood is an auto-buy for me, and this book was so good. Another book that I want to talk about while I'm wearing my Mamma Mia dress is another book that is arguably one of my favorites of the year, and that's Very Sincerely Yours by Carrie Winfrey. I have read another Carrie Winfrey book before, which is like just not like the movies or something, which I didn't like. Like I really didn't like that book, but I loved this book so much. Very Sincerely Yours is about a young woman who feels very lost in her life. She has a breakup and she feels like she's always giving to other people and doesn't really know who she is and what she wants out of life. And she becomes really like into watching this sort of like local Mr. Rogers program for kids of this like hot puppeteer guy who is her age. And she one day like writes to him, because children write to him all the time, like asking like, is it okay that I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing with my life? And he starts writing her back, and then they end up dating each other. It is so charming. It's really fallish. It feels like a Meg Ryan movie. It's really sweet. I enjoyed these two main characters so much. They were really charming. I loved like this idea of like an attractive, hot Mr. Rogers type. I think like Carrie Renfrew was really tapping into something that not a lot of maybe people realized that they were into. I just thought this was great. It ends on Halloween, which I love, and the audiobook is done by Patty Murin, who I've talked about before. An audiobook narrator slash actress. I've really come to enjoy her narration style. I just loved it. I think that this book is such an easy, bright, fun, happy, sweet read, and it made me cry. It just feels like an underrated book that more people should read and get into. Dress originally from Target. It just looks like a pajama, and it kind of is. It's like an elevated pajama, but also just reminds me of 2013 Tumblr Girl. You know, I'm gonna wear like Doc Martens and listen to early 1975. I would put this one on, but I've worn it in a video recently. This is a Selkie dress. Selkie is a brand where you pay for quality and you pay for sustainability. This was such a splurge for me, but it is really beautiful. I don't even know where I'd wear it out. It is so very extra in every definition of the word, but it is beautiful, you know. This is one of my oldest dresses. My mom bought it for me from a consignment store in Savannah, Georgia when I was a freshman in college. It's originally from Alice and Olivia, so it's like one of the only like designer pieces I own, but it's just precious. It's really cute. I wore it when my friends and I were going off to college at a Cracker Barrel, because I'm a southern gal. We're almost to the end. This dress I found at a thrift store, and it is ridiculous. Like Dove Cameron and Schmigadoon. I'm gonna put it on. I feel ridiculous. The next book I want to talk about doesn't come out until March 2022. I hate me too, don't worry. And that's Hook, Line, and Sinker by Tessa Bailey, the second book in the Bellinger sisters. I don't think it's a series, I think it's just a duology. The first book, It Happened One Summer, I read in a video a couple months ago. I really liked it, I really loved it. This book follows the main character from the first book's younger sister, Hannah, and her relationship with Fox. Fox is the hero of the first book's best friend, and their sort of slow burn friends to lovers relationship. Basically, this book starts off about 6 months, 7 months after the events of the first book, and in that period, Hannah has moved back to LA to work on her movie career and also to like deal with the crush she has on this like famous director she works for, while Fox, who is known as a playboy, deals with his feelings and realizes like he doesn't want to meet other women because he's this great friendship with our main character Hannah. She moves back to work on a little short film with this director guy, and while she's there she lives with Fox and things occur. It really has everything that I love in a romance. I love friends to lovers, I love slow burn, I love things that happen off page that develop the relationship. It's a book with a lot of mutual respect and mutual understanding, and a book that feels like this relationship is taking work, but in a realistic way. Both of our characters have their own hang-ups. Like Hannah realizes that she kind of plays second fiddle to a lot of people. Fox realizes that this reputation that he's created for himself and other people have created for him actually hurts him, and they have to figure it out. This book is really soft and fast-paced, and there's so much chemistry, and the communication that occurs with our two main characters is really persistent, really earned, really real. Like they struggle and they communicate their way through that struggling. Miscommunication isn't an issue because communication in this case actually creates tension and allows the characters to be honest and deal with things or not deal with things. And I think that's really interesting and something that not enough books actually delve into. I love this book so much, it made me cry, unsurprisingly. The book I want to mention while I'm in my Anne of Green Gables green dress is You Had Me at Hola by Alexis Daria. This is a romance about two actors who have to play love interests in a sort of Netflix TV show based on a telenovela, and in doing so realize they have feelings for each other and they start hooking up and then, you know, falling in love. I really enjoyed this. My favorite thing about this book was the chemistry. These two characters have so much chemistry, and also there's so much, again, respect. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed both of these characters. Like, we definitely had this really sunshiny, really fun lead named Jasmine. Like, she's really excited by life, she's really giving, she's really loving, but she's someone who like gives too much almost. And then our hero, he like is someone who keeps everything really under wraps because he had a traumatic experience through his fame. And there's a lot of like interesting conversations about fame throughout this book, and what you give and what you don't give, and how that affects relationships. This book was really sweet. I thought it was really entertaining. There is like some anxiety that occurs through miscommunication, but it felt really real. Like, the reasons why things were being hidden felt like okay, I get why you would hide that and you wouldn't want to share that information. Like, I understood that. I will say the only part of this book that I didn't love was towards the end. Like, our heroine Jasmine does something where I'm like, I don't know if that would feel real. I don't know if like her threatening to leave the TV show that she's been working on, and like having all these people lose their jobs because she wants to leave potentially because of this guy, like, felt realistic to her character. I didn't love that, even though it worked out. But I did really like this book. It was really, really sweet. It was really, really fun, and I would recommend the audiobook. Vintage, red dress makes me feel like I'm Nancy Drew every time I wear it. It's my prom dress. I graduated high school in 2013. Can you tell? It's chevron, it's sequins, it's short. This was like very radical for my high school when I wore it. We'll put it on and we'll end with this dress. How did I wear this for an entire prom night? It is so scratchy. And the last book that I want to talk about for this video is The Bronze Beast by Roshni Chashki. I got this as an audiobook arc, which is really exciting because I have consumed the entire Gilded Wolves series via audiobook. I really enjoyed this. This is the conclusion to the Gilded Wolves series. This is a really fun conclusion. It's satisfying. It has a good emotional weight to it, especially because the second book, The Silvered Serpents, is so heavy and dark. This one is kind of building a bridge between the first book, which is more lighthearted, than the second book. It has this sort of like The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue kind of moment happening too, which I did not like. I think the ending was probably something that, yes, it was satisfying, but also like it's not something that I particularly enjoy. Like, a trope I don't really enjoy. I'm not going to spoil it, but that's just kind of my vague thoughts about it. Overall, I did enjoy it. It didn't blow me away, but I thought it was really well paced, really entertaining, very easy to get through, and just a satisfying conclusion to a very fun, exciting, heavy series with characters I really enjoy. Okay, so we did it. I feel like I can't make a video that's like short anymore. I hope y'all are okay with that. Let me know if you guys like these long videos, because it's just kind of the way we are tracking lately. I hope you enjoyed this video. Had a good time exploring my dress collection, or some of the dresses I deemed to show you, because I did probably cut a lot out. And also enjoy the books I talked about. Anyway, I hope you have a lovely day.